Good evening, citizens of Zimbabwe. It's that time of the night again. Now it's up Vet. Our budget was released and showed a $4 billion figure for the 2016 year ahead. This budget is smaller than the budget of Pick n Pay, a supermarket chain in South Africa. Yes, in case you're wondering, that's how far we have fallen as a country. In these jars in front of me, there are many little sweets. Each sweet represents $5 million, and for our budget of $4 billion, we've got a total of 800 sweets. The government wage bill sits at an impressive $3.685 billion of the budget. In other words, we are left with approximately $315 million to use on capital projects. The sweets in this small packet represent the $315 million for projects, and the rest of the sweets on the table will all be going to wages and salaries. But another interesting point is what ministry and what partner got what amount of money. Well, in this jar, we've got the Presidential Office and Cabinet. This has received $178 million. Yep, that's right. Nearly 5% of our budget goes to the wonderful people who run this country and make these wise decisions. Here we have the Ministry of Defense, $357 million. Surprise, surprise. Can't run a dictatorship without an army. This one here is Home Affairs, $395 million. The guys that visit us at 3 a.m. in the morning. Give credit where credit is due. The Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, this jar here, got $810 million. Ministry of Health, we have $330 million. And Ministry of Agriculture, we have $145 million. But let's compare a few ministries and departments and see what we come up with. As we said, this is the jar that represents the President and Cabinet budget of $178 million. Let's pick lands and rural resettlements. $9.2 million for a country that relies on agriculture. That's pretty pathetic. We also have the very interesting Women Affairs, Gender and Community Development, where we are trying to empower women. That has 13.1. Remember, this is the President and Cabinet one. And lastly, in a country that has hardly any electricity, the Energy and Power Development Ministry got 6.8 million. Two little sweets. Couldn't break it in half. Most of these amounts, as I said, cover wages. And what we have left for projects is $315 million. So what can that really cover? Well, 2 weeks ago I spoke of sanctions and why we're actually not under sanctions. And that point is clearly illustrated in this jar, which is the jar that has all the aid money that we have been given. These funds are what is actually used to build Zimbabwe. A few examples are as follows. Australia, Denmark, EU, UK, Germany, Netherlands contributed $18 million in 2015 and another $7 million in 2016 to rehabilitate water and sanitation in the following 14 towns: Bindura, Chipinge, Chiredzi, Chivu, Gokwe, Gwanda, Wangi, Karoi, Mutoko, Mvurwi, Plumtree, Rusapa, Shirugwi and Rishavan. Rural Wash Program, or UNICEF, spent 16 million sinking boreholes and repairing others in 2015, and will again spend 13.5 million to sink 200 new boreholes and sanitize 240 schools. Zimbabwe Reconstruction Fund donated 14 million by the World Bank to improve sanitation in Lupane, Guruve, Gutu, Zimunya, Matanga and Madziva. So if you're from those areas, thanks to these foreign imperialistic donations, you will be able to have safe drinking water and maybe a toilet. Other examples are the Danish government building courts around the country to the tune of 18 million. Education Development Fund got 33 million in donations from Western countries. OPEC Fund for Development of Schools has donated $20 million to build 17 schools. The Health Fund received donations from the EU, the UK, the US and other donors totaling $75 million. Do you guys remember a certain gentleman saying, "Keep your Britain and I will keep my Zimbabwe"? Seems we need to change that to "Keep your Britain, but please help me keep my Zimbabwe by sending money and supplies. Governments have run out of ideas. The government budget is based upon the following assumptions. Improved business environment. Really? When land is still being taken daily and thugs are land barons associated with the ruling elite? Normal to below normal rainfall. This is the worst drought we've had in 25 years. Rebound of global economic growth. China has slowed down, we will slow down too. Low cost of borrowing. Zimbabwe has the highest interest rates in the world. This is a ludicrous statement. Positive prospects arising from re-engagement of the international community. Yeah, in other words, sucking up to the IMF and World Bank in secret while bashing them in public so that we can get into more debt which we will never be able to repay. Anyway, we await 2016 and the results thereof. But maybe you as citizens can add one more thing to your New Year's resolution. Running. There's going to be a lot of running in the streets of Zimbabwe this year, so best you get fit. And that's the end of Now Zabret and Vet. If you like what I'm saying, you agree with the things that I'm saying, please feel free to like my Facebook page, Brett and Vet, and I've also got a YouTube channel also entitled Brett and Vet. Thank you very much.